Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Price to Sell podcast. I'm your host, Matthew Campoli. And believe it or not, again, we do have another beast in the industry. This is just how we do over here. And quick little stats about him. He's the youngest broker owner in RE/MAX Canada, which is nothing. That's nothing small, okay, my friends? So we're about to bring you a value-packed episode. We have the one and only Mr. Ron Sally in the building. Welcome, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Matt. And I'm excited to be on the Price to Sell podcast.
Yeah, we're a pleasure, man. I think we're going to toss a lot of golden nuggets out there for everyone to learn from and experience. And you have a lot of experience, even at such a young age. And you've accomplished so much, right? Like, you grew your company from 4 agents to 230 in 3 years. That's a lot.
It's all about the value proposition. Mm-hmm. So when you look at the stats in the market today, how many agents exist? How many offices are there? So competition is always going to be there. Yeah. How do you set yourself apart from the competition? And that's what we'll get into that as well. Yeah. But before that, what you're doing and what you've done with this podcast, I'm very, very impressed.
Thank you.
I watch it. I check it out, and I learn a couple of things as well from other people that have come on the show. So you are also not just creating value for yourself, but you're putting value out for everybody else out there. So thank you for this podcast. I think you're doing an incredible job.
Yeah, thanks, man. Honestly, and like when I started, I didn't even know, we had no real like goal or intention. It was just for fun. It's like, let's just put it out there. Let's kind of wing it, see what happens. But man, the like what I've been getting, like the feedback has just been amazing. And like, getting to meet amazing people like yourself is just huge for me too. So super grateful. Again, thank you everyone for always tuning in and the support. We love you. But let's give everyone listening, watching a little background into who Ron Sally is.
Started young, always the hustler, always the ambitious person. One of my favorite quotes is, age is no barrier to ambition.
I like
that. And that basically means it's just, it's all about being the best version of yourselves. Now that's what this, you and I were talking, before this shoot started, mm-hmm. is how can you be the best possible agent? And so at 18, I got my mortgage license. So started working in the mortgage industry. Now when you're 18, when you're young, you really haven't bought a house for yourself. You really haven't done, how do you understand the finance aspect? You're still in the student life per se, mm-hmm. right? You're coming fresh out of high school, you're going to university. Now you decide to get your finance, you get your mortgage license. So did that, didn't really like it. And the next step up was real estate, because that's in Salesforce. So my partner right now is Sunil, and Sunil happens to also be my father. So he's also already in the industry.
Very cool.
From beforehand. Mm-hmm. So I kind of saw things firsthand. And when we talk about mentorship and guidance, I got a lot of that, and I'm fortunate enough to get that.
Yeah.
So I got it directly from my father, who's now my partner. So at the office, it doesn't go pops. It goes, hey, talk to Sunil. Hey, Sunil is this, and so on and so forth.
That's cool. That's interesting.
So got my license at 19, got to sit in on the meetings that he used to do, sort of saw the format. And what I realized was he had his own style of working, and that style sort of worked for him. And this is what we nowadays say the old school way of real estate, right? Old school marketing, old school tactics, and it's always about everything. But he has a personality type was of a driver, right? Yeah. In sales, there's 4 personality types. You have the expressive, you have the analytical, you have the amiable, and then you have the driver personality. So mm-hmm. driver is, getting things done right away, quickly making decisions. So from there on, I got my license in 19, and then things just took off for me. I did the residential, kind of brought in the marketing game, Facebook ads, Google ads, Instagram ads, started digitalizing everything, started creating systems and processes, and sort of putting things together. Now, as an agent, it's a commitment. It's not a job anymore. It's really a business. So that's when people say you got to treat it like a job. No, don't treat this like a job. Yeah. You want to treat this like a real business. Mm-hmm. And that's really what it is. A business is what? It's functional. It has systems. It has processes. Yeah. It eventually gets staff. It gets all those other things, and it becomes a huge beast on its own. It should be running efficiently and smoothly.
Exactly.
So from there on out, when I created these systems and put them in place, so things started taking off. And residential, did the door knocking, did the flyer campaigns, 100,000 mailers used to go out all together. And then I really got attracted to pre-construction.
Yes.
And you know, pre-construction is, from the outside, it's very hot, it's very sexy, it's amazing.
Yeah.
So pre-construction attracted me, and I went up. I showed up to, you know, a couple of builders' doors. Got a lot of doors shut down. Nobody would, you know, give me access to certain projects. There were, you know, groups and clubs and so on.
You
and so
physically
forth.
went there?
Yeah, physically.
I like that. Love that.
Here, I'll give you a fun conversation. So when I used to go and try to get access to projects, and this is what I'm talking like 20, you know, I'm 20 years old. I'm 29 now. That was 9 years ago. And I used to call the builders directly. So now there's sales companies that sort of handle the projects. I'd call the builder directly. I say, hey, you know, this is myself. You know, I have clients. I'm looking at, you know, you give a great impression, and right away you get connected. And you got to hit one home run. And once you hit that one home run, it'll allow you to sort of open up doors. So I hit a few home runs. And that started opening up doors, and I kept hitting home run after home run after home run, and that sort of, you know, turned into the beast that it is today. And then from there, when you get the revenue, you use that revenue to sort of expand and grow your business.
Yeah.
Started flipping properties, built a custom house, starting putting investments, did the private lending, did all of that. And all of this was all done before the age of 24.
It's insane.
Now at 25,
Yeah.
and now I said, what's the next step? Okay. Now, I've sat in almost every course you can imagine. The Mike Ferries of this world, the Brian Buffinis of the world, the Richard Robbins. You know, you learn from the grades from watching videos and listening to audio, you know, audibles, and Brian Tracy, Tom Hopkins. It's a commitment, right? Like I said, it's a life, and that life is being the best version possible.
Yes.
So when you create value, and it's like, how can I give back to the world? It's not just about the money anymore. It's really about, you know, doing good things and being the best person that you can be.
Yeah.
So now in the position and the mindset and the lifestyle that I am in, it's how can you build and how can you be a damn good agent and set the tone for how things should be done? You know, It's not about competing anymore. It's about being authentic to how you see real estate should be done, and how you can help clients, because that's really what it boils down to.
Yeah.
You know, there's so many different streams of business now that has come into play in the real estate game, but you never forget that your job is to help as many people buy or sell or invest into real estate. That's really what it boils down to. And 25, I opened up the office, and so did a meeting, and I went to a couple of different brands. And, you know, I sat with them. Some brands took like 4 weeks to get back, and some got away right away. And what attracted me was Remax. Not only is the world's most recognized brand in the world, has one of the most top producers in the world, but the systems, the processes, the team, the staff. And, you know, when a 25-year-old kid shows up, and I was never with the brand in the first place, you know, it's not like I was a Remax agent.
True,
and right away, I kind of, I said, you know, this is what I want to do. And Sunil's like, man, I don't want to open up an office. It's this, it's that. And I was like, no, we're going to open up an office. He's like, fine, you're a broker of record. I don't want, you know, let me be behind the scenes. You take full. I'm like, yeah, no problem. I'll be broker of record. I have no idea what I'm getting myself into.
And this is how many years in the business now?
This is, so I got my license around 19.
Okay.
And this is 6 years later, yeah.
Wow.
So at 25.
Nice.
And
did you feel ready to take on broker of record role?
That's the thing of life, right? You're never ready for anything.
That's very true.
So you're never really ready for anything.
That is true. Yep.
So you get in. Now all of a sudden the titles. It's in life. It's all about the titles, right? As from an outside perspective. Oh, you're broker of record. Oh my God. Now I'm sitting down. And I'm like, man, it's just a title. You know, it doesn't really mean anything.
Yeah.
You know, you could give me manager. You can give me broker owner. It's really about the learning and the systems and what you can do to simplify the whole process.
Yeah.
So long story short, 25 did it. Now first year in the office. My office is not built out. My construction is delayed. Everything is there. I'm figuring things out. I'm trying to figure out how to hire staff. I've never hired staff in my life before. I'm more of a do everything on my own. I'm making calls. So I get the staff all set up. Now I'm sitting on my big chair. My office is, you know, it hasn't hit construction yet. Now I'm the big boss, right?
Yeah.
4 agents, which is my father, my mother, and, you know, one of the other friends, including myself. 4 in total. This is what it is. Now I'm like, cool. Now what's next? Now who's going to show up and join my great office that I've opened up? Nobody joins my office. Okay. I'm thinking what's going on. So I'm having meetings. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to learn. I'm making calls. Nobody wants to come and join. So it's sort of like this. Now let's backstep. Let's forget I'm opening up an office. Let's forget I'm a brand new agent entering the industry. Nobody wants to work with me. What the hell do I do? I'm doing everything. I'm making calls. I'm going out and prospecting. I'm going to events. I'm handing out my card. I'm freaking broker of record. I have a Remax brokerage.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to be part of my office. What am I really doing to set myself apart?
Yeah.
Now, same thing as an agent. What are you going to do to set yourself apart? That's what it boils down to. And that's what I started realizing now in the industry. When you talk to many, many agents, it's like, man, I'm doing everything. I don't understand. I'm not getting a sale. Why am I not there? Why is something working for other people? Why it's not working for me? Later on in life, again, this is where wisdom and everything comes into play. I can go on, man. You got to interrupt me. I can go on.
No, I like this. This is it. This is the conversation right now.
So I can go on a rampage.
Let's go on a rampage. I love rampages. Like Godzilla.
So that's insane. So from there on out, and then the first year was more about learning. So finally, my office, 2018, I have a franchise. The bill is going. I'm still paying. I have no office. My sign is not even outside of the door. So I had to restructure, refigure things out. So now in 2019, my office finally gets constructed. And I started looking at what other people weren't doing. And I started looking at things where other brokerages are not able to offer. So I started looking at the trainings. I look at an average training of the most offices in the marketplace. And I realized they do trainings either once a week, twice a month, or 3 times a month, or 4, and that's about it.
Okay.
And the training is always dedicated to brand new agents.
Okay.
So after you are gone through the process of forms, your clauses, and you know it, now what's next for you?
Yeah.
Right? Where does it go from there? So what do? I'm going to do training 5 times a week. 5 times a week I'm doing training. Okay? And I'm every single day. Now I've gotten 3-4 agents, a couple of agents. Now I'm at 10 agents or 12 agents. Okay? No problem.
Yeah.
Every day I'm doing a training session and I have 2 agents sitting in front of me or 1 agent sitting in front of me, one-on-ones. Every day consistently.
Yeah.
So Sunil comes up to me. He's like, what the heck are you doing? Like, why are you doing trainings? And I go, listen, I'm practicing. He goes, what do you mean? I go, because I'm going to be training 100 agents in per session, 50 agents in a session. I'm going to be standing in front of hundreds of people and I'm going to be talking. This is my practice. I want to see the questions they're going to ask me. So that way, if I don't know the answer, I'm ready when I'm across 100 people and they ask me a question.
Always forward thinking.
So I kept doing that. And then now our trainings are, 3 to 5 times a week. We created a balance of it because it gets too much, right?
For sure.
So what you're doing, so in terms of what it is. So then after we created that system, we said, what other things aren't the offices doing? Now, the biggest challenge for any agent, here's a pitch for our office. We're your in-house business solution, okay? We're not creating a shortcut for you. We're just making the way of you running your business a lot more effective and a lot more efficient. It's sort of like this. If you need to use any kind of platform, let's say you use a CRM. CRM is designed to do what? To make your life easier for you to manage your leads, manage your contacts, manage everything, allows you to put everything in one place. But who still has to input that data? You do. Who still has to check off on the follow-ups? You do. Who still has to make the calls? You do. But the efficiency and the process is on the back end of that CRM, which makes your life a lot easier.
Yes.
We're that back end platform for you as a brokerage.
Okay.
Our brokerage is a platform where you can run your business, anything and everything you need, all available in one place. We're the only brokerage right now that has launched an agent portal and an app where anything and everything you need, from scripts, from workbooks, from marketing materials, from pre-con projects, mortgage services, legal services, branding services, logos, design, videos. We have over 400 videos we've recorded and we've made ourselves, and we have that whole platform. And I'm going to show you this app afterwards and tell me what you think. I want to get your feedback on it.
Yeah, for sure.
So what we've done is the exposure part of what it takes an agent to learn in 10 years, you learn in less than 3 months at my office.
Wow.
Okay?
Yeah.
From our training. And I get to the point. There's no BSing and so on and so forth. And you have a broker, unfortunately, that talks about a deal that they did in the 90s or the 2000, 2005. Then no offense to them, you learn a great amount of things for them.
Yeah.
But what starts to happen is the relatability starts to shift with that age gap. So I'm in that perfect position of the age demographic where I can relate to 10 years younger, and I can relate to 10 years older.
That is key.
Where you find that sweet spot. So you understand the traditional method, because look, the traditional methods do work. You can't shy away from the door knockings. They're effective. But how you do it, incorporating the digital aspect of it, that's what people still haven't figured out yet, which they're still learning to figure out, that there's a digital aspect of door knocking as well.
Yes.
And that's what we teach at the office as well. So now we have the marketing. We're the only brokerage that does free marketing for all our agents 3 to 5 times a week. All your social media posts are created automatically.
Is it an in-house marketing team?
In-house marketing department.
Nice department. Okay, cool.
Now, then we launched our Millennium Media, which is our a la carte services.
And just this is Remax Millennium.
This is
we haven't
Remax
introduced
Millennium.
the brokerage yet.
Yeah.
So Remax Millennium is the brokerage. Okay, let's continue.
Yeah. So this is Remax Millennium. This is our brokerage. And we have another branch office that's opening up very soon in Mississauga and Steeles.
Very nice.
That's a whole nother story I'll tell you a little bit about. It took about a year to kind of get things going for that pocket. It's a very big market, especially because of the, it's right across from Lions Head Golf Club. I don't know if you play golf. And
I can slice. That's about it. I'm a
you
slicer.
and me both. You and me both.
I aim 90 degrees and then I'll hit it on the green. I'm good.
So the whole goal of what we were trying to create was we were trying to take an agent that isn't getting exposure, isn't getting support, isn't getting services, isn't getting any of that. And how can we make the most seamless system for them to run, operate their business from?
Yeah.
Okay? So anything and everything they need, all available in one place. We make all the offers for our agents. All the offers get done through our office.
Yeah, huge.
Okay? So which is massive. So now what we're doing and what I'm working on is, and this is what I've been trying to figure out, and I've been trying to do it. And I'm trying to create a 24-hour service where you can be anywhere in the world and you can run your business efficiently just through coordination, right? Think of it this way. Now, we were talking about you traveling.
Yeah.
The second an agent needs to get out and travel, that's when all the chaos erupts. That's when everybody wants to show properties.
Yo, is it? Okay, that is a thing. That's a thing. That is a fact. I've talked about this with so many agents. It's hilarious, and I don't know why it's so consistent.
Yeah.
Every single time we go on vacation, I know a lot of you are laughing right now, listening. You can be like dead. You just want to take off for a week, and you get all the calls.
Yeah.
All the listing calls, all the buyer calls, whatever. The business just flows. It's funny, and it happens every time, and it's consistent every single time. I don't know why. There's no explanation for that, but it's so funny enough. Right before I came on, we came to get things rolling. My phone was, nobody called me, no messages, no nothing. As soon as I'm about to, okay, we're ready to shoot. Okay, let's sit down. I get 5 missed calls. I get 10 text messages. Everybody wants something done. And I go, what the heck? Where were you? Like is there a time slot where everything sort of comes into play? And, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that as well. The shift from the salesperson aspect to what it's like to being a broker of record. Yes.
Because we're in the same age demographic.
We are.
And a lot of agents have aspirations of running their office and sort of doing that. And I'll tell you about how it's like. I'll share my journey and my story with you as well.
Yeah, let's hear it.
So during the time of 2019, the office is going, right? Let's go back to that. Now the pandemic starts to happen around 2020 and things start to take shape. So I haven't even scratched the surface. I've just started to see, the fruits of my labor, starting to see an office that's grown.
Yeah.
So now we're all shut down and things are taking place. And I see every office trying to figure things out on how they want to, run their systems because they were not set up. No office was set up to take on what happened in the whole world.
Yes.
That shook things up, not from a real estate standpoint, but just in life in general.
Yeah.
And now everything is shut down. Your whole existence of you being an agent is just like, you can't use your office. What do? Do you stay at home? Do you help your buyers? Do you go to, everything is just completely transformed. And then while I'm sitting in my home, like the rest of us during the lockdown, this is the official lockdown when everything got shut. I made a margarita for myself. Okay, I was
spicy.
Pardon?
Spicy.
Just how I like it. Okay.
You like a little jalapeno?
Exactly.
Okay, boy. Okay. Let's continue.
So it was me, right? It was me sitting in my backyard, got a margarita jug, lying down, right on my belly, right? Okay. Completely lazy style.
Yeah.
And then while I'm there, and I'm a little tipsy, I come up with this idea, and a thought comes to me. Everybody's probably doing what I'm doing right now. What the hell am I doing?
I had the exact same moment.
You had the same, I had an aha moment. I said, everybody is probably at home either drinking, figuring things out, or just kind of waiting for things to pass.
Let's get ahead of it.
Right? You moron, get the heck up.
Yep.
So right away I topple up. I bring my jug with me because I made a margarita. Now right away I get on my computer, right away bunch out, put on a couple of crazy thought processes, finish my margarita up, and the next day I got to work. And during the time of pandemic, I hired the most agents outside of anybody that's there. I won the Canada-wide award in 2020. And then the next year, 2021, again, pandemic is continuing. I won Canada-wide again, and we won worldwide.
Wow.
Out of all of RE/MAX's.
Wow, that's huge.
For the most agents hired. Okay? And well, in 2019, I won Rookie of the Year because of the things that I was sort of transforming and that we were doing. So our systems evolved, our processes got better, and we kept doing something called, the Japanese word called Kaizen, which is, repetitious improvement. So improvement through repetition. And we just kept refining. Then, we did a lot of pre-construction already in the office. We revolved our department to bring more availability of projects and information. What does everybody lack today? Like if you got a buyer, you got a lead that says, hey, Matt, I'm looking for a pre-construction project.
Yeah.
Okay. You're like, okay, great. Where would you like to be? Now you're going to get the information. Now either 3 or 4 projects on top of your hand, or you're like, shit, I got to search for it.
Majority
so now
of the time.
when you got to search for it, I can't find the floor plans. I can't find the price list. There's, 50 other sales companies that are the listing brokerages for these projects. Where do I get it? What's the availability? What that is. So I simplified that.
Okay.
So on our back-end agent portal, you can see all the projects that are readily available. You can see the price list, the floor plans, the email marketing templates, everything. I've made that accessibility of information readily available for all the agents in the office.
Wow.
And again, simplifying processes.
That is such a problem that you solve there, because I go through that thought process all the time. It's like someone calls me, it's like, okay, now I got to go on Buzz Home, look up all these projects. Is it in pre-construction? Is it in registration? So it's like, that is good, man. I like that a lot.
So we simplified that, and then we started doing a little bit more. We said, okay, what more can we do as an office to really bring value for our agents? The whole conversation is, how can we have the best platform and the system set up for agents to run their business on the best place possible? So right now, we're developing our own CRMs. We're developing our own lead gen platforms. We're developing our own systems. These are all, I have coders and developers all on salary. Everybody's there. So I run a huge expense.
Yeah.
You don't even want to hear the numbers, okay? Very massive.
I can imagine.
Thanks to the grace of God, I have the budgets for this stuff. And it's all out of pocket. But we're creating these systems, and this is the beautiful part about this. I'm talking about it from a brokerage standpoint, and the agents get a chance to benefit because they get the culture, they get the environment. We're doing a top producer trip where we're taking our top guys.
I saw that. I like that.
We're doing that. Whoever gets the position this year, a bunch of them will be taken on a trip. We do monthly social mixers. We all get together at the local keg or local restaurant, have a drink, grab some food. Hey, what's going on, Matt, in the market? What are you noticing?
Good culture.
What are you working? So it has to, culture either gets created, either gets harbored, or it starts from the head of the leadership.
Yes.
And that's the thing. Leadership has to be active in the office. If leadership is not active in the office, and somebody has to be like, no, this is the way I see things going, or, let's just put cruise control. Almost all offices are on cruise control right now.
Yeah, it's true.
Let's go. I have agents. Okay, it's running, so on and so forth. You know why? Because the stomachs are full. They've been doing it for 30, 40 years. And over time, what starts to happen is, when you get seasoned, when you get things, and don't get me wrong, they've achieved like astronomical things. Even some of the brokers that I meet on, even when I go to the Remax events and things and parties and get-togethers, I'm not where the crowd is of the young individuals. I'm going to the seasoned individuals.
Yeah.
I'm hanging out with them, and I'm giving the utmost respect I can possibly do, because I'm looking for one little aspect or tip that they can share with me,
for sure,
or maybe a challenge that I didn't anticipate or that I am probably going through right now. Maybe they've already solved and figured out.
Yeah, because there's always something to learn.
There's always something to learn from them.
To have, for sure.
So that's sort of where we are, currently in our standpoint. And what now, coming back to the leadership part of it, what's more important is, as shifts are taking place in the market, Matt, we had a great market. We still have a great market.
Yeah.
But now we're seeing shifts take place. And you and I were talking about it, where we're having to do price changes on certain listings. Certain listings have to be canceled and terminated and then re-uploaded again.
Yeah.
The seller's motivation has to be adjusted. The mindset of the seller has to be adjusted. So these conversations are so important to have. So when people ask me and say, hey, Ron, what nuggets of gold can you bring from a real estate perspective? What is there? The first thing always is transparency. Be as transparent as possible. No hidden motivation, no nothing. Try your best to educate anybody on the process. I look at it this way. If you're gonna punch me, I'd rather have you tell me first.
Yeah.
Don't,
or else it's called the sucker punch.
Yeah, don't sucker punch me. Tell me what it is. Tell me if I'm gonna anticipate a cost. It's not a problem. I'll pay for it, but at least let me know about it.
Yeah.
So transparency is super key.
It is.
The other big thing about being a better agent or improving or anything of that sort is making a commitment. And that commitment is, this is a long-term play. And part of winning this game is longevity.
Yeah.
Who can survive? And you got to sometimes just survive.
Yep.
And if you can survive, you've already beat out. Now you're third or fourth year. Now it's okay. Let's do a little bit better.
Yeah.
But if you can get a running head start from the ground when you get your license, and right away you come into play. So the big question everybody has is leads.
Yeah.
Can you give me leads? Right. This is the interviews that I have.
Of course. Yes.
So we have multitude of agents in our office, different levels of producers, and some of these guys are doing incredibly well. Some are getting there. Some are just like I have a guy every year he'll do the same amount, and he enjoys his life. He does everything, but he'll always hit the same amount. He'll do close to like $200,000 on average, and I was like, wow, he's doing $200,000 just on cruise control.
Yeah.
Without having to go, and that's through his network. You barely see any advertising.
Yes.
We always have the same conversation and say, hey buddy, what's going on? You can easily be doing 5+. You can easily be doing 6+. Where can I help you? Where can I support you? Ron, it's okay. I don't want to take too much stress in my life. I'm enjoying it. I have a kid. I have this.
Exactly.
So everybody's motivation is different.
Yeah.
So 1 year, you can have the best freaking possible year. And I had a conversation with a couple of people. He said, last year you killed it. Was the market working for you? Or were you working the market? Can you do it again this year?
Yeah, it's true.
So we were one great year, and all of a sudden, the ego shoots up through the roof, and I'm the best freaking agent there is. You start looking down upon people. Well, can you do it repeatedly every single year? Can you generate the same level of success? And what is success? Success is defined by you achieving the goals that you set out. The first number everybody wanted when they first got in the business was, I want to hit that 100K mark.
Yeah, the 6 figures. Yep.
6 figures, right? 100K mark. Let's be honest. It's not enough.
Yeah, it's not at all.
No, it's not enough. And I'm sorry to say this. It's especially in the real estate business.
Yes.
And it's not like, okay, you know what? Oh, these guys are there. But tell me something, Matt. Which business, which industry can you hit the numbers that you can hit with real estate? This is the best freaking business to be in.
Yeah, it's hard to think about, to be honest. Yeah.
You're in control of how much you can earn. You're dedicated to lifelong learning. You set your own hours. Technically, you work way more than you generally would,
Yes,
right?
exactly.
And it does happen. But the big part about it is the fact that you're in control.
Yeah.
And that's what people want in their lives. They want control. They want to feel a sense of control that is there on their own time and their own hours. And you as a realtor or a real estate professional, real estate business person, get to set that out and establish that.
Yeah.
So if you today were to set up an office, okay? Think of it this way. You as a realtor, you don't really need to have that much startup costs. I'll tell you why. Someone's like, what do you mean? You don't need I'll tell you why. You're not paying for a space, whether you're paying the mortgage on it or whether you're leasing it out. You're not paying for the space. You don't have to pay for staff. You don't have to pay for your hydro or your electrical or anything of that sort, your utilities expense. You don't have that, okay? What other expense could you possibly burden? So what you have to do as an agent, you just have what? If you're with a franchise, you pay the franchise fees.
Yeah.
Okay? You do the splits are there. When you do the deal, the splits get deducted, which is automatic in fairness for utilizing the services, okay? And then you just have your marketing costs.
Yeah.
So what really expense do you have as a business person? You get a chance to really have things more in control.
Yeah.
And your office, which is the backbone of your business, can make, again, that's why it's selecting that right place. It's
That's
like
true.
when you say, hey, work with the right agent. Everybody says work with the right agent.
Yeah.
I say the same damn thing. Work with the right brokerage.
Yeah, it's true.
Be part of the right office.
For sure.
And that office is support, admin, back end, allows me to run things efficiently. I get the broker or leadership on call. I'm not a number in the office. That's very, very important. I make sure nobody's a number in the office. They're very accessible, reachable to me 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. It has to start with them. Again, always everything starts from the head of the leadership.
For sure.
So there's no running cost for you. Now, when you start this business, coming into it, the only thing that I say is make sure you have startup capital for marketing. Because if people don't know you, you really have to put that out there where you're able to build that business for yourself.
Yeah.
So in knowing what I know now, if I was to start all over, here's a couple of things I would focus on. The first thing I'd focus on is personal branding. And
Which is
personal
huge.
branding is the value that you want to present and make a difference for your buyers, for your sellers, for your investors. Okay? And at the same time, give back to the community.
Yeah.
Don't right away establish yourself as an expert because you just got you want to establish yourself as a great agent that knows the market, that has the knowledge, that understands the statistics and understands the processes and can also help negotiate in your favor and do the best representation possible for you.
Yeah.
So focus on that personal branding. If I were to ask you what makes you a great agent, and if you as an agent don't have an answer to that, you've already failed.
Yeah.
Fair enough?
Yeah.
If you ask me, Ron, what's so great about your broker? I'll tell you right now. I have, back and forth. I can keep going.
Exactly.
Now, branding, personal branding is one of them. The second part I'd focus on is the systems and processes of how you're running and facilitating your business. When you're out doing showings, how are your offers going to be made? How are you going to create your offers? Do you have a set standard template, or is your office can do it for you? Okay? Understanding the clauses, that is very, very important. And the processes of after you list the property, what is a post-sale activities? Okay? And what is a post-sale or post-close activities? And what is a pre-sale pre-activities of pre-listing, right? We all have that. Nobody ever talks about that. We always talk about the marketing and every aspect. Like when you have to prep a listing, what do you have to do? Okay, you're coordinating the lockbox, you're ordering the for sale sign, you're getting your flyers ready if you're doing the flyers. Now you're setting up all your campaigns.
Staging, all that.
Nobody talks about that stuff, right? The actual processes of doing that.
Yeah, it's a system.
It's a system.
It's a step
so
by
you have
step.
a checklist. How do you move forward? What happens? How do you continue to stay in touch? So those systems and those processes are very important. The third thing that is there is a commitment, and I keep coming back to the word to commitment to education. And this never stops. You so sitting in as many classes as possible that can give you an update on what's happening in the market. And you want to do a combination of things. You want to do a combination of agent network. You want to do a combination of brokerage. You want to do a combination of sales trainers. And you want to do spiritual and personal, and you want to do a combination of things. Yes. That's a complete package.
It is.
All right?
That's when you become a weapon.
That's when you become a weapon.
That's what I call it.
I love that. I love that line. That's when you become a weapon. Okay? Or what I like to call the super agent.
Yep.
Okay?
Super weapon.
Yeah, super weapon. Yeah. You're a Marvel character, right? So now, when you do that, you want to find your style. So who do you if I were to ask you, there's so many coaches, right? We always know of Tom Ferry, we know Mike Ferry, we know Brian Buffini, Richard Robbins, Craig Proctor, and there's so many, Jared, there's a gentleman named Jared, I forget his last name. So you find the style that you resonate with the most, and you take that style on. And there's an old saying, right? Never sell the way you like to be sold, sell the way they like to be sold.
Yes.
So you want to work on that, right? Customer service and customer experience. And that's the other point. Creating the best possible experience while the chaos is going on of you working with multiple people and following up with leads. How do you create the best possible experience for your buyer, for your seller?
Yes.
And that goes through transparency, that's through communication, that's through groups.
Yeah.
Okay? So here's a tip. I don't know if you do this or with anybody else does this. I always recommend if you're working with a group of people, put them all in a group together on WhatsApp.
Yeah, I do.
Okay? Exactly, right? Some people don't know this.
Yeah.
So you put them all in a group.
Chat.
Yeah, nice group chat. And
it's fun. Make it a funny name, keep it friendly.
Exactly.
Yeah, I do that all the time.
Exactly. And then when you're there out doing showings, and let's say one person misses it, hey, you missed out today. You're always doing this. You're creating a great environment where it's like, look, I'm working in your favor.
Yes.
It's that space for that person.
Yeah.
So you create that experience. Now the other thing that is important, especially in this business, okay, is creating that routine process. That routine of the time you wake up to the time you work, to the time you finish your day, okay? Now, everybody's different. Some people have big families, everybody's in a different age demographic, everybody's in a different environment or space in their life. How you do it, you have to really be introspective and figure out how it's gonna work for you.
Yeah.
Okay? And a reasonable routine. You don't have to put like ultimate pressure. I'm gonna wake up at 5 o'clock, I'm gonna wake up at 4:30, and this is what no, you don't have to do that. You pick a time. Like if you're used to waking up at 7 o'clock, just try waking up at 6:30.
Yes.
Do 6:30 first. Hit 6:30. Once you hit that, now you can move up to 6 o'clock or 5:30, and then slowly, steadily, you can fix your routine that's sort of there.
And everything works different for people. Some people are way more productive at night, in the late night. That's when they get into their flow, right? Some people are way more productive early in the morning, like I am. I'm just like pure zen in the morning. I'm up at 5:30.
Yeah.
But yeah, you gotta see what works for you. You can't just be like, oh, that guy wakes up at 5, he's successful, I need to force myself up. If it's not in your character.
The thing about waking up early, and here's a debate about it, right? And by all means, if you can get the work done at night, like sometimes even I change it up sometimes, just the creativity process of it.
Yes.
And I'll tell you, I'll share my routine with everybody as well in terms of what I do. It's never, it's not perfect, but it works for me. When I try to wake up around 5 o'clock, okay, and the reason why I do it, because after 8 o'clock and 8:30, my phone doesn't stop ringing.
Yep.
I could get continuous messages.
Yep.
And because I happen to be the broker of record,
Yeah.
it keeps going till day's end,
Yeah.
10:30, 11 o'clock, even there. And in between, there'll be, silent gaps that is there.
Yeah.
And some days you come back and just sitting down and you're like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
You're just completely, your brain is buzzing. You know that buzzing feeling?
Oh, all the time. So that's your Ron time in the morning. That's your Ron time.
So when I wake up, what I first do is I meditate in bed.
Nice.
Okay? So there's ways of meditating. You sit down, you do it, close your eyes, and you do visualization techniques.
Yes.
And that visualization technique is, I make a difference. I have what it takes to be successful.
Yep.
And you start visualizing yourself 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years.
Yes.
And I always tell agents, I go, if you forget you're new, forget you've been in the business and somebody has gone ahead, or maybe you're not doing enough. Ask yourself, let's say you made, what's your dream number? $500,000 a year. Let's say you did $500,000 a year. Let's say you're already there. What would your life look like?
Yeah. Yeah. Visualization is very important.
What would you do differently? Well, I would do this. Why don't you do that right now?
Yeah.
And that's the abundance mindset. So you backtrack. So there's an old saying, right? You say where you see yourself in 5 years, you backtrack to try to do it in 1 year. Where you see yourself and do it in 10 years, you try to do it where you can take it. Why can't you do it now? And so you backtrack from there. So I'll meditate. Once I get my meditation up, brain is a little bit active. Then I start. I play a lot of brain games. So I have 3-4 apps on my phone. One is Elevate, one is Lumosity, and the other one is Brain HQ. Okay. I use those 3 apps, and I go through and I pay for them. Okay, that's part of my ongoing subscriptions. So I pay for them, and I play those games, and I play the math games. I play the trivia games. I play this, so my brain is now active. So now after my brain is active, I'm having my cup of coffee. I got a new dog. I'm just been spending a little bit of time, training him. He's a puppy. Right away takes a little bit off the
job.
routine.
Yeah.
So it's another job on its own. And what I do is I have, again, a couple of other apps that I have.
Yeah.
Where they have it's a free one. I forget the name of it. I think it's Optimized. That's what the app is called.
Okay.
Check it out. Wicked app.
Yeah.
It's a free app. You don't even have to pay for it. But I have a couple of other paid versions of different apps. And what they've done is they've created short versions of books, and I'll read those.
Yes.
And I'll get my reading out of the way. Now, but I change up my routine. I don't like to do the same thing every single time because I get bored.
Yeah.
So this is it. You got to trick your brain at the same time, right? So it's not mundane all the time. So after I do that, so one day I'll do all the readings and the books, and the other days I'll catch up on all my real estate news.
Yes.
So Kriya sends this one email by Pierre Leduc, and there's a couple of people that has all the articles listed out right away. Every agent should get that in their email.
We do.
I go through that every day.
I never did that.
You never do that? If you ever want to catch up, dude, I'm telling you, it's the best way to be involved.
For sure.
Like if you feel like you have no idea what's going on, like some people feel like that, you catch up to speed by reading that. Now you know what's happening, what's going. And even Treb, one thing I sometimes miss out on, I shouldn't say this, but I miss out on it, is when Treb gives the updates on there's so many like emails Treb has.
Yeah.
I just spend one day, I just catch up on everything.
Yeah.
So these are processes and systems for yourself. So again, coming back to being successful as an agent, right? These are habits that you create. The mindset is very, very important, that I have what it takes to be successful. I have something to value. And then at the same time, having those things to give. Lead generation has always been a topic. There's many, many ways to generate leads. Nothing will ever beat the long-term play of relationships and networking and putting yourself out there.
The human to human.
Human to human.
Yep.
Right?
Agreed.
And when you're making calls, like I can go through all the scripts, I can go through all the flows. There's a way and technique to make a call. What you say, especially on the follow-up, how your follow-up's going to be.
Yeah.
So there's variations of those follow-ups. The best way to do it is right after you finish a call, follow it up with a text message.
Yeah.
If you ever want to learn, if any agent ever wants to learn, call a tech company, sign up on their platform, and just leave the rest. They'll harass the heck out of you through the calls, through the text messages. I'm getting that right now.
The funnel?
The funnel.
Yeah.
You go through a whole funnel.
Yeah.
And I used to find it like, when you're young, I'm like, Jesus Christ, what did I sign up for, right? And your phone is like, I'm busy, right? I just wanted to see this PDF, man. That's all I wanted to see. And you just all of a sudden you're in the funnel.
I know.
But that's genius.
It is.
And we have to do the same thing for leads, is put them through the funnel.
Yep.
and it works.
It does.
You know why? And I've had past clients before where they're like, you know what? The only reason I work is because you were on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I made a $2 million sale once because of this guy. And he's like, I've never bought a $2 million from a random person that's called me on the phone and so on. And then
online,
after,
eh?
Yeah, online lead. And I was on it.
Yeah.
And he would always like, hey, I'm busy. But he always pick up. You know, when someone picks up and says, listen, I'm in the middle of something. I was like, this guy's a businessman.
Yes.
You know, so he wants that. He wants that level of things. So I followed up very professionally, made sure I was on top of it. Made that sale, and then he's been a long-term client ever since then as well. So,
I love it, man. You're full of information.
Yeah, as I said,
I love it. I do want to ask just like a couple like rapid fire, just quick questions.
Yeah,
because we are like nearing the end here.
Sure.
We always like throw information for like new agents. Quick answer: how does an agent scale from 6 to 7 figures? I know it's probably not quick, but like let's try and make it quick.
How does an agent scale to 6?
Quick tip.
Quick tip?
Something to focus on.
Oh man, that's a good one. How do you so 6 to 7 figures right away? Quick tip. Talk to as many people as you can.
Okay.
Okay. Very simple. Talk to as many people as you can.
Okay. Out of the coaches like Buffini, Mike Ferry, Tom Ferry, would you say who kind of like top of the game right now, maybe to look out for?
Combination of things.
I agree with that.
So if you're looking for one person, it's hard for me to give you one person. I think a lot of people resonate with Tom Ferry in recent times, but some of the principles that Brian Buffini brings into play, which is the traditional methods, especially with the referrals, the pop buys, the showings up, and all of those other things, it works to a certain extent. And I'll give you a small example. There's the one where you send a video text. So I'd send video text. Now, if I send you a video text, you're like, man, that's super cool. I love this. You know, I've never seen this before. And you send it to somebody else, they're like, what the heck is like? This guy's weird.
Yeah.
Everybody's a little bit different.
It's true.
So understanding it, but I would say Tom Ferry, Richard Robbins. I love Richard Robbins. Is very forward thinking and modern. I love some of the things he puts out there.
Yeah.
And I love the introspection of what he has. So combination, you just find a combination of things. You pick the best couple of things that is there. You can follow their systems all the way, of course. So pick a system of that one person you resonate with, but always pick the best parts out of each person.
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay, and last question. If you think at any point the market will come back and be on fire again, do you have a prediction as to when?
Let me tell you something, okay? And I'm going to simplify this in the shortest way possible. This is normal. It's going to happen all the time.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, maybe for some people this is new. This is not new for me. Okay, there's always shifts in the marketplace.
Yeah.
Always. This is always going to happen. I've seen this before. So let's say everything freaking crashes, goes down to the tubes. That's it. Game over. Now what? Are you going to quit your job? Come on.
Yeah.
You have a job to do.
Yeah.
You still have to find people. It doesn't mean you're going to exit the industry and that's it. Okay, let me go find a warehouse and a factory job or anything of that sort, or completely do something different. No, you're still going to work. So if any shift is going to take place, whether the market crashes or whether the market is up, what you need to understand is, how do I adapt to this market? How do I educate my buyers and my sellers about this? And how do I figure out a way to thrive while other people are figuring things shit out?
And be resilient.
So now, if you ask me, I love these moments. You know why I love these moments? It's for agents to freaking come in that couldn't get a foot in the market for them to grab market share.
Very
and
good way
that's
to
how
look at
I
it.
grew during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Because while everybody was doing the complete opposite, I put the pedal to the metal. And right now is a chance to put pedal to the metal. And that's what I'm telling everybody in the office. You want to grab listings? The best time to grab listings.
And grab a margarita as well.
And grab a margarita as well. Yeah.
Well, man, it's been a pleasure. You have really given a ton of value. I think a lot of people are going to gain a ton of value and probably be hitting you up for some more information. So thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
And where can they find you? Let's drop your personal account first.
You could find me on Instagram, Ron Sally.
And then your brokerage?
Remax Millennium.
Amazing.
Awesome.
We'll also post all his links below and all of our things. But to everyone watching, thank you so much. For all the new listeners, thank you for coming and joining, and I hope you stick around. But we love you all, and we can't wait to see you and bring you some more value. So appreciate all you guys for all the support, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.